Hello and welcome to Australia in Space TV. My name is Chris Cubbage. I'm the Executive Editor with My Security Media. Today we're joined by Nicola Sassanelli, who is the Chief Executive Officer for the Andy Thomas Space Foundation. We're going to be talking about Australia's Space Forum in Adelaide in October and also their education fund and their latest rounds as well. So without further ado, CEO Nicola Sassanelli, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Thanks to welcome me.
Great. Nicholas, we can sort of maybe start. There'll be some of the audience that may not even know Andy Thomas. Let's hope that they do have an idea. He did go to space 4 times and retired from NASA in 2014. But I think maybe let's start with just a bit about the foundation and your role as CEO. Then we'll talk about the Space Forum. Now, this will be its 14th year. And then we'll sort of talk about your education fund and the scholarships that you provide. So there's a lot to talk about. But yeah, just the Andy Thomas Space Foundation and your key sort of charter.
Oh, first of all, thanks for this opportunity, Chris. So Andy Thomas, as you said, is our iconic patron and is with us from the day one. When we start to think about the foundation, we call him and say, what do you think? And he was very, supporting about this idea. So Andy Thomas is considered one of the first Australian astronaut on the ISS for mission 177 days and is started in 1996. So he's a really an iconic guy, and
an Adelaide boy as well, right?
Correct. He's University of Adelaide and also St. Peter's College. So and the mom is still live here and he's come here often. And we have at least one per month a phone call with him, with my colleagues. Michael Davis, to have some inspiration from him. So the Andy Thomas Foundation, just to give you the big picture, is a part of the Australian journey towards the space. So, of course, the first important element in the new era of the space, because if you talk about the past, we have to talk about Woomera after the Second World War. But for many years, space was not really supported, by the government, and then, was just a small initiative, in a different way. But we can say that the new era of space in Australia, they start when the Space Industry Association of Australia, they won the International Astronaut Conference in 2017. So there was an important opportunity to, spot on the lights on Australia from all over the world. But at the same time, the South Australian government, they catch this opportunity and say, in 1 year, in 2 years, all the world on the space sector will be here. We need to do something. So at that time was Jay Weatherall, the premier, and he established a new office, space office, in the first office in Australia dedicated to space, and I was appointed as the director. And we did in 2016, at the beginning of 2016, the first space strategy that has come from a state. And of course, the capability directory, that is an important tool, an important instrument to identify who are the main stakeholders in that particular ecosystem, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. One of the initiatives was also the forum. The first forum was April 2016 with 80 people. We talk about the next forum in October with 1,000 people plus an exhibition area of 100 exhibitors. So, that is, the long journey.
And you're holding them twice a year, so hence the 14 that you're coming up to. Yeah.
So that means, I think, 7 years, 6 years.
Correct.
But the important thing that at the International Astronaut Conference 2017, the federal minister is announced the establishing of the National Space Agency that was established in 2018, but with $41 million of budget over 4 years. So the first the first stuff that we start to think was what we have to do with this money, because just a logistic activity and so on. So we thought about the R&D, and we know that the Corporate Research Center was a program that running annually with a budget of $170 million. So we thought to apply for a CRC program, and we call SmartSat CRC. Two very brilliant guys, one Professor Andy Coronius from University of South Australia. The other is Peter Nicolo, the co-founder of Nova Systems. So you can see, academic, university, and private company together. So to cut the long story short, in 2019, we established the SmartSat CRC, more than $250 million over 7 years, R&D. So we fixed the regulation and the, big rule of the strategic rule of the National Space Agency. We fixed the R&D, but the last element of the big picture was the education. And then in 2020, we established the Andy Thomas Space Foundation, a charities organization with the DGR status. And we established these, since the beginning, this foundation with three important streams. One is education, and then with the education fund. The other is outreach, and then start to be close to the community, not only students and researchers, but everybody. And we start to have some workshop or seminar, or invite community here like Lions, Rotary, in particular downstairs to the Australian Space Discovery Centre, and talk about how this is important space and how space touch the daily life of ourselves. So the third element, the third stream is the innovation, where for us innovation is networking. And then it's come the forum. So the forum and some other initiative like seminar, workshop, as also some initiative that we do together with you, around Australia, is just to share with, in particular, researchers, what is the future, bring here best practice from overseas, talk about challenge that can be in the future. So that is more or less our role.
Well, the agenda for the forum has been released. What's the key focus for this year's forum at this stage?
So the next forum, there are three panels. One is Earth observation, because as you know, the national mission that was launched by the budget, $1.16 billion over 10 years, is quite important. And so we invited speakers from different national agencies, like CSIRO, Geoscience Australia, BOM, just to understand what is the wish, what is the challenge. And also we invite an expert from European Space Agency that can give us some information about what's going on in Europe, in particular, the Copernicus activity and the fill-up stuff. Then we have optical communication with an international expert from USA, and that because it's an important activity where company like EOS, Nova are involved. So, and that is something that is quite interesting also to the defense. The last panel is remote operation. So we know that there is a big tender or opportunity from the federal government. So, and also in this case, we invite a keynote speaker from NASA headquarters just to give us some thought about what's going on Mars. This robot that will be there, and we will play an important role.
Well, I can see on the program you cover, because it's not just, I've got the 25th of October there, but it is a week of events culminating to the Adelaide Planetarium. but you're also covering Mercury and Mars missions as well. So you're still building the program, but it looks like it's covering all aspects and across the whole week.
Yes. Monday we have in the morning a startup event that will be managed mainly from SmartSat, CRC, and Aurora. In the afternoon, we have this education mixer. So organization from all over Australia, they will be here to talk about, experience and what is the next opportunity. Then we have a networking dinner in the night. The 25th, of course, is a forum, and as a keynote speaker about all the full forum will be the general director of the CNES from France. Then the day after, we have an event organized with the SSSAI about spatial, about end user, and in the evening we have a Woman in the Space. Is an event that is we try to identify the best woman involved in the space, and the keynote speaker will be Tanya Morrow.
Well, I noticed just on that, while I got you, is Dr. Megan Clark is your co-patron as well. I take it she's still actively involved with the foundation?
Absolutely, yes.
She's the former head of the Australian Space Agency. So again, most of us will know Megan. And sorry, can continue on with the program.
And then we have on Thursday 2 important events related to the community engagement. One is Dark Sky on Murray River. Is an area that is 400 kilometers from here, that has the status of reserve park, where all the people with the hobby with the telescope to discover a star and to monitor the star will be attract from this event. In the afternoon we have Mars Societies is another community event that are very important. Friday we have the conclusion of the 2 important programs, Mercury and Mars, for us, that are involving primary school and high school. Is part of the education fund. And Friday night, Saturday night, we have an event with the University of South Australia where we can see planetarium. So, all the community can book and relax there. Saturday morning, we have is the last event is a space medicine, and then is in particular with the radiologist college, and tries to see how his image can help in the space life. So yes, very intensive, but this is just one stream. The other stream is the education fund. Last year we allocated more than $200,000. This year on 7 programs. This year 9 programs, more than 300,000 programs. So in 2 years, $500,000 for education fund. And that is when we talk about 7 or 9 programs, they involve all the spectrum of the education. So we start from primary school, then high school, then year 12, in order to stimulate to choose bachelor or schools related to space. Then we have 6 scholarship for honors and in research and masters that is co-founded with the space agency. Then we have 1 PhD with the SmartSat CRC. We have 2 important programs, one with EOS in Canberra and one with the Cosine in Netherlands. What we try to do with this is a scholarship for research idea come from young researchers. And that is a fantastic program, because one is for this company is thinking outside of the box. So not do every day, but the young researchers come with some idea, I have this. So we received more or less last year and this year more than a dozen, so 14, 15 applications. Last year we chose 4, this year we chose 3. We will be immediate release related these 2 activity in the next 2 weeks. So and then we will launch also the winner. But it's also important in order to create this pipeline about work placement. So in other words, these people they have a chance to talk with the companies. And of course, if there is a good relationship, they will become the new employees of these two companies. So it is a quite interesting activity, because we start from the primary school and we finish from to the post PhD researchers.
And it's obviously critical to provide that opportunity. But are you seeing students? Are you seeing it growing for a start? And the other one is, are you seeing particular students run through that pipeline? Consistently. They might have started in primary school and now they're in high school and they're still involved with the program.
That is a fantastic point. You know that, because we saw, we start 2 years ago, but before that I was in the SA government, so we give some awards, some prizes to school, in particular high school, and I find now these people, the same people at university that is apply for honors and master. So that means that when you put the seed in one of these people, they grow, and you can see in all the activity or later in the years under the curriculum, you can see that these people, they have a passion, they have an enthusiasm about this sector.
And that's really the opportunity for them, isn't it? That's the whole idea. I just thought I might finish off on that point of your observations of the Australian space sector. The seeds have been planted. It's not like it's a new industry, but it's definitely going through a little bit of a renaissance since the the relaunch of the Australian Space Agency. What's your current observations and maybe a call to action for the industry? Obviously, the call to action here is to attend the forum in October. But yeah, general observations and call to action to the industry. Where do you think the strengths are?
Look, is of course the strength to me is change the culture of the end user. So think about the farmer, think about the transport sector. They still now don't know that thanks to the space-based technology, they can have innovation in their sector, but that means that they could become more competitive. They could become higher productive if they use space-based technology. You think about agriculture, you think about sector like insurance for the builder, that they can monitor by satellites the building that is become higher. So we need to talk with these people and say how you can use image and data by satellite. So this is a big challenge, but everybody want to be here in Australia, because now you know about the budget, you know that there are a lot of interest, there are also resources. Enrico Palermo is the head of the Space Agency, is working so well in order to highlight the importance of space in the political arena. And you can see that at the forum, we have two important delegations that is come, one from North America and one from France, but also Italy is still there with the Italian Chamber of Commerce and with the Italian Trade Commission. Here, every forum with the two stands and bring, Italian companies. So that means that everybody are interested in us. And we have also I told you before, the Cosine is a Netherlands company that's come and say, I give you $15,000 for this scholarship, please manage this. So that means, why? Because I want to invest in Australia, but the best way to invest in Australia is not come with a suitcase and say, look, this is my product, this is my service, but work with your student, your researchers, and work together to grow. Yep. So that is important, and is a great opportunity. And the forum is a great opportunity because you can find there everybody from Australia involved in the space, more than 1,000 people. The symposium, we can have 30 delegates, speakers. The exhibition area is less than 3,000 square meter. We can have 100 exhibitors. This means researchers, entrepreneurs, educators. So it's really in one day you can find everybody and you can inspire yourself.
Wonderful. We're very proud to be the official media partners for the
Yeah,
forum.
yeah.
As I
Yeah,
mentioned, it's going to be in the last week or the third or fourth week of October there. It'll be the 14th forum. If you want to find out more, here's the website, the andythomas.foundation. Check out the website. The program is building on the website as well. And so it's a pleasure to have the CEO with the Andy Thomas Space Foundation, Nicola Sassanelli. And you mentioned the Italians there. You've got a lovely, strong Italian accent, Nicola.
yeah,
So no doubt you're a good ambassador in that particular role. So thank you very much for joining us today on Australia in Space TV.
Thank you, Chris, for this opportunity.
Thank you.